Hi, my name's Devon. I've been married for 25 years and I have a family of 6. As an individual entrepreneur, my company has been on the Inc. 5000 list more than just about anybody in this country. I do want you to know, I don't know the easy way in anything. I only know the hard way. Hey, here's some food for thought. Have you ever noticed how when people get hungry, they either get super weak or super aggressive? Well, I noticed this a lot in business and especially over this last 15 months or so with COVID. And you saw a lot of different reactions in the business world because, we all went through this together, right? And what happened was there was this just kind of like this onslaught where everything dried up overnight, right? And so everyone got hungry. And as I looked around at my peers and people that I talked with, I noticed that there was typically 2 reactions. There was kind of this we all got hungry, so to speak, and there was this one side of the house that people just got super aggressive in business and I'm not sitting on my hands. I'm going to do anything and everything that I possibly can. I'm going to come up with new ideas, launch new products, do a new way of doing things, reorg, do all kinds of stuff, right? And this was kind of like the aggressive, kind of side. And then you had this other side that literally was almost paralyzed and sat back, and in my opinion became weak and became victims. And you see this happen in the world, right? And in the wild, if animals, they can choose to go one of 2 different ways. If they're hungry, they can either get aggressive and go for something, but if they get weak, eventually they die. And I think COVID, during this last 15 months, it really kind of showed what your type is. And you need to understand this, if you're the type that man, this is really hard, and that makes you sad, and I hate to say weak, but in this analogy, we're talking aggressive versus weak. When you get hungry, honestly, you need to self-assess how you're going to deal with it, because this won't be the last time there's a challenge in business, right? This won't be the last time that you have a challenge. And if you run up against something and you get hungry and it makes you weaker and it makes you less motivated in your business, well, then you probably need to start figuring out an exit plan, or you need to probably start bringing in some different resources around you. And again, however, I would also say if you're too aggressive and you become illogical and you panic, well, listen, and that's kind of some of the stuff that I'd had to deal with. In some cases, I was overly aggressive and I made knee-jerk decisions that I wish I could do over. And so you need to understand when, the pipeline dries up and all of a sudden your business starts to starve a little bit, what's your natural bend? What's your reaction? How are you going to react? And if it's one way or the other, you need to realize, hey, there's some good on both sides, but there's also some weaknesses to both sides as well. So I would challenge you to self-assess your style, how you deal with adversity, and make sure that you know ahead of time how you're going to deal with it and plan around that. So listen, I hope it helps. It was hard for me to kind of go through all of this. It was hard for me to self-assess and realize a lot of the mistakes I had, but like I said, I actually only know the hard way.